What's going on, everybody? Good morning. In this video we got to talk about Cleanspark's earnings. They just released their earnings pre-market. Sadly, it looks like it's on a day where Bitcoin is continuing down. We had some recent negative news. Looks like the president is going to veto a bill. I'll probably touch on that on my next video, but in this video we're going to focus on Cleanspark. They just released earnings. They beat top and bottom line, and we're going to look at their results. We're going to look at Cleanspark on the chart, and we're also going to look at Bitcoin. As it stands right now, we're looking at a pretty rough day for the Bitcoin miners. They're trying to make a recovery. We'll see how it goes. The problem is, even if these miners post pretty good earnings, we're not going to really see them run if Bitcoin doesn't want to let them run. And another big thing here is forward guidance. Because this earnings was the last earnings before the halving, forward guidance doesn't look all that great, but we're going to cross that road when we get to it. Now, if you guys get something useful out of this, make sure you like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and let's look at these results. And I'll leave their press release down below for you. They saw a second quarter revenue of 111 million, which was sequential and year-over-year growth. They saw a net income of 126 million and an adjusted EBITDA of 181 million. Cleanspark's current hash rate now has surpassed 17 exahash per second, and this revenue they gave us was a growth in revenue of 163% year over year. Now, as said by Zach Bradford, we've achieved remarkable milestones this past quarter, ultimately becoming what we believe to be the top operator at scale in the industry, as we increased our operational capacity by over 60%, extended our footprint with new facilities in Mississippi and Georgia, and bolstered our total capacity to over 17 exahash per second. These efforts have driven a significant rise in our revenue, underscoring the effectiveness of our strategic initiatives and targeted growth. As we press ahead, our focus remains on innovation, measured growth, and strengthening our unique position in the market to deliver sustained value to our shareholders, yada yada yada. Blah blah blah, let's keep reading. The second quarter was record-breaking and historic for Cleanspark, as we recognized approximately 112 million in revenue. And this was said by Gary, the CFO. Our margins have also increased over the preceding first quarter, which were helped by the rise in Bitcoin prices and expanded margins. At our wholly owned sites, we experienced wholesale power costs as low as 1.3 cents per kilowatt hour and very favorable all-in power cost of 4.3 cents per kilowatt hour. We also ended the quarter with almost 700 million in cash in Bitcoin and virtually no debt, and we'll look at that in a second. That's put us in a strong position for the halving and will allow us to take advantage of opportunities the halving presents. Hint, hint, potential mergers and acquisitions. Now, I already mentioned their revenue, income, and EBITDA, so we'll skip over that. Just know that they have grown massively sequentially and year over year. Looking at their assets, 323 million in cash, 358 million in Bitcoin. Total current assets of 687 million. Total mining assets, which includes prepaid deposits and deployed miners, 623 million there. Total assets on the company, $1.5 billion. And they are currently sitting at $12.8 million in debt with $632 million in working capital. Now, I wish this showed the quarter over quarter numbers, but this basically shows like year over year and then year over year in a 6-month period. But you'll see that their revenue has just skyrocketed year over year. This is an all-time high. This is a record for revenue. They're well over 100 million in revenue. If you guys remember when Cleanspark was pulling in under 20 million per quarter, let me know in the comments below. That was quite a while ago, but really not that long ago when you think about it. One big thing here is forward guidance. What does the market expect? Well, seeing that we're going into the first quarter that's going to be reported after the halving has taken effect, they are expected to see a loss. They are going to flip back to a loss according to estimates, according to forward guidance. The good thing here is they do see revenue growth. Very small revenue growth compared to what they reported, about a $2 million increase in revenue growth. The good thing here in that regard is a lot of these Bitcoin miners expect sequential declines in revenue because the halving has taken effect, not here in Cleanspark's case, which is nice. And one thing you got to realize here as well is we still have May and the rest of June to get through. If Bitcoin starts rising in price, it's very likely that they could beat these estimates. Very likely they could give a profitable quarter. Keep in mind the upcoming earnings is going to be covering April, May, and June. Many of these miners will see profitability post-halving with Bitcoin up a little bit higher in price. We really don't have to see Bitcoin move up much to see these companies post another profitable quarter post-halving. Now, we are starting to see a little bit of a positive direction. We're up 3% on Cleanspark. Bitcoin's starting to slowly recover here today. Who knows, today might shape out to be a decent day. One thing I'm watching here for Cleanspark is a break of this pattern. This descending resistance, I do think once we break that, we can head towards our next target of $20, and then it's a matter of breaking that 20. And right now, it honestly looks like we're kind of facing a double bottom here. We might head up higher, test this 50 MA right here. Keep an eye on the 50 MA and watch for a breakout. Last time we had a false breakout, we did not close above the 50 MA. Looking at Bitcoin, we're still following this descending channel. One thing I'm watching for, like I said to you guys before, was the 50 MA, a break of the 50 MA here. We keep coming up to testing it and just cannot break through it. Keep an eye on how Bitcoin performs here. This could be a potential inverse head and shoulders. There's the shoulder, there's the head, and there's potentially the other shoulder if we can get a decent little bounce here. I would expect us to head back towards that neckline right around 64,000. And that could bring us a break of this descending resistance, this green line here, and then potentially a test of the 50 MA. Let me know, guys, what you think about Cleanspark's earnings. I'm personally quite happy with it. The market might not care all that much. It's all about forward guidance right now, being that we're getting through the halving. The market's definitely been shaken up about the miners. Doesn't know really where to place them. We just got through the halving, the rewards being cut. We also got through a lot of these miners dropping 40 to 60% in some cases. And I think it'll take the market a little bit of time to really decide where we want to go. But to me, that will present us with some potential last minute buying opportunities until it's time to start packing up and get ready for the next cycle. But thanks as always for watching, guys. Look out for another video. I'm going to be covering Bitcoin and some recent Bitcoin news there, what's going on with the spot Bitcoin ETFs, and I'll see you on the next one.